this is an individual who has gotten a lot of people in trouble, somewhat to the point where people end up having to leave the United States because of this nigga. Now, I'm really not into politics whatsoever, but this has nothing to do with politics. This literally has to do with the motherfucker who had a lot of money and just did the worst shit possible with other niggas involved in that fact. And these are old people. Don't even think these are people that are like within the Gen Z orientation. I can only hope that, you know, YouTube doesn't see any restrictions based on what I'm watching. Jeffrey's Epstein private island, bro. The reason why so many niggas are into this shit is because this is a man who had so much money and did fucked up shit with it. We all know a lot of people that have used their money to do fucked up shit. You know, I know I have to put that certain person in the category because we all know who I'm talking about. The diddler. But if you want to watch the original video, it'll be in the link of description down below. This video is brought to you by 60 Minutes Australia. And as always, nigga, let's check this out.
Well, we definitely received substantial evidence that he was involved in trafficking young women and children to the Virgin Islands
Jesus.
For a very long period of time.
I'm sorry.
Through our airport.
I'm sorry, bro. Like, look, I saw pictures of what this man did to kids. I'll be honest with you, man. I've never seen anything as fucked up as what this man has done. That's why I had to watch this type of video. You would think that people wouldn't go too far with having this much money. But it's like when you're born being rich and you like grow up being richer, just, I don't know what it does to your mind, bro, but it just F's you up in a certain type of way.
Private jet. And then he would, by helicopter or sometimes boat, would then transport them over to Little St. James. And that's where he has his complex where he lives, which is his official residence as well. And that these young girls and women were subject to sexual assault, sexual exploitation, through coercion, false imprisonment, where the passports at some points were taken away. The actions were just reprehensible. And it was quite a number of women, and we found through our investigation that at least up to 2018 that continued.
So what your investigation is showing is the broad scope of Jeffrey Epstein's nefarious activities, that it just kept going.
Based on the evidence that we found thus far. Let me make something very clear.
Let me tell you something. This video was posted 6 years ago. Okay, this man died last year from when this video dropped. You mean to tell me that y'all niggas don't even reveal this information? This information was revealed in 2020, and motherfuckers like us don't even realize this shit till now. Except for the people that were probably, you know, just very, very political about rich niggas. Cause let's keep it a buck, bro. There's a lot of haters when it comes to this shit. I'm gonna be so honest with you. But then it's like, when you use your money in the worst ways possible, especially when it comes to you doing it around other humans, you can't get any more fucked up than that. That's just as real as it gets. It's fucked up.
Jeffrey Epstein was very good at protecting himself and being secret. You know, the secrecy he was very good at that. And because of his wealth, his power, he was able to do that and secure that. So when you think about it, he owns a private island. That's an island over a mile away from St. Thomas, the main island.
Straight up.
And it's out there and it's isolated. He purchases that, right? Then he owns the jet that flew in to the airport. It's under a name of one of the front companies that actually has been named in our complaint, but it's him. He's the member of that LLC.
In other words, everything is working to his favor. If you out here trying to deport a bunch of girls with kids all the way to a rich nigga island, just so, like, where the hell would you like imagine if you were in that type of position right there, Brose?
And he owns the helicopter and the boats that took or transported him and the women and children over to the island.
Fuck, man.
So when you think about that, it's him orchestrating all of that. Yes, there may have been baggage handlers. There may have been other persons who looked and saw him and other females with young girls. Yes, but I think that it's important that we focus on how Jeffrey Epstein was so able to create such an elaborate scheme, especially by doing it in such secrecy. And he had the money and power to create the secrecy so that not just local authorities, but we have federal authorities here too, that are here all along. Not even they might have been able to see it. In looking at that, you have to really, get a good understanding of how he was able to protect and isolate himself. Once you get on that island,
you're fucked.
How do you get off?
You're
it's
fucked.
Not like a person who's on the island can just say, okay, I'm going to swim to St. Thomas. They can't do that. It's not like a person who's there and needs help that they can sneak away and run outside and flag down a vehicle or flag down a police car or run to the nearest police station like they might be able to do on St. Thomas, on the main island. The island is isolated. So that kind of isolation is really what you have to look at when you start to think, how could this have happened for so long?
I think the picture you paint is a terrifying one of isolation, but also abuse of power. And I just wonder why the people who worked for Jeffrey Epstein weren't terrified for the girls going over there. They knew how isolated.
You think they weren't terrified in the first place? Yet again, they got money off of doing this shit. And then yet again, probably got more money off of snitching. I guarantee you, all this information. Look, when it comes to federal agents, they make sure they get information out of everybody. That includes the niggas that were, you know what I'm saying, with the females. Who was around the females on some shit. Them motherfuckers gonna make sure they gonna get every detail so that way they can put it all in one file, Brose. Let alone multiple files from that fact. Because it seems like this nigga did, more than just one female. It was multiple females, okay? But this is something that, you have to understand why the internet is so effed up, because they knew all this had happened. And like all the federal agents, shit, the president of the United States, they all knew that like he did this type of shit. It's just the fact that they want to bring this out right now because I guess, I don't know, they just don't see a good standing point in a celebrity, or some shit. I'm not really sure, but if there's one thing I know for sure, bro, if you hang out with the rich ass nigga that's been rich their entire life and got more money while being rich, there might be some sort of fucked up aspect. And that's fucked up because Diddy never grew up rich. But when he got rich, he was still fucked up. This nigga was born rich and got more rich and got more fucked up. So it's like, that category don't really make sense until you realize that the more money you get, the more fucked up your mind can be. Maybe.
Island was. They knew the ages of those girls. They saw powerful men there. Why weren't they terrified? Why didn't they become whistleblowers?
Well, one thing I do know, first of all, is that there are the non-disclosure agreements that Jeffrey Epstein had all of the employees, if not most of them, sign, and they had to agree not to disclose any information to law enforcement or anyone else regarding what goes on that island. And even after Jeffrey Epstein's death, those non-disclosure agreements are still in place and still enforced by the estate. So this was just one of the ways that you can pretty much intimidate or silence people. But in addition to that, when you see someone connected with powerful people who may visit the island, or he may be involved with, whether it doesn't have to be here, it could be anywhere in the world. And it's known that these powerful people are his friends and associates. That alone is intimidating to the ordinary citizen who's sitting there and watching this and say, ooh, that does not look good. But could you imagine the reluctance of that person to say, I'm going to come forward, I'm going to tell on that person who's friends with all these powerful people? So that alone, the way that he surrounded himself with these powerful people, that was an example of the kind of intimidation that would cause what you're saying, people to be silent about what they may see or
federal agents are still going to get money off of them one way or the other. That's just, I'm sorry for stopping her right there. I ain't going to lie to you, but even if they didn't tell federal authorities about what he did in the first place, they're still going to try to get information out of him because they're the reasons why they made it to the island in the first place. Like, and they got money off of him. They're not his real friends for real. Them niggas just wanted to get their guap and do their thing. They didn't know what the hell he was really going to do with them women. They probably did. But you really think like that's just how fucked up this shit is, bro. That's how fucked up it is. Like it is all based on them bands, bro. Them bands, that guap for real.
As far as the Virgin Islands is concerned, we need to make sure that the Virgin Islands is not perceived as a haven for this kind of sexual exploitation, human trafficking, and sexual and child abuse. We have to make that clear. It is very important that we enforce our laws against human trafficking, against child abuse, against child.
It's been official, man. You know, this guy's a badass nigga, a horrible nigga, and he died in a horrible perspective too. You dig what I'm saying? Now he just got a whole bunch of other niggas, you know, going through this type of shit. But hey, man, shouts out to this woman, bro, that spoke on this, you know, monster. You feel me? If you want to watch the original video, will be in the link of description down below. Maybe if this video gets up to 100, I'll probably react to another Epstein video. If that is, if you know, they put restrictions on it or whatsoever. Big 4-3, get on your knees, go to sleep.